Hi, I'm Chanel. Did you know that you could save up to 9 lives by just becoming an organ donor? Well, it's the last day of Organ Donation Week, and during this week, members of Organ Donation Isle of Man, as well as a specialist nurse, has been speaking to people about how becoming a donor can save lives. I spoke to them in Douglas.
Diane Taylor. I'm founder of Organ Donation Isle of Man.
Hi, my name's Abby Roberts. I'm a specialist nurse for organ donation in the Northwest team, and I am fortunate enough to cover Nobles Hospital and work with the fabulous team here on the Isle of Man.
It's Organ Donation Week. Can you tell me about the week and the importance of this week?
It's important that everybody thinks about their organ donation choices and talks about it, with their family if it's something that they would like to do to help somebody after their death.
How does it help? Or how would it help?
After losing my son in 2007, as a family it hadn't been talked about, so the first that we'd really thought about organ donation was when my son's dad and I were being asked, had we thought about organ donation. Having to make that decision at such a traumatic time, it's the worst time in your life. And now I encourage people to have that conversation, so if you ever find yourself in that position, you already know what your loved one had chosen to do and you don't have to make it for them, and it is a way that you can honour their final wishes and go on to help others, and your loved one can live on through somebody else.
How does it help the person receiving that organ?
When they receive it is the gift of life, so if it wasn't for donors, then that person would probably sadly pass away, or they'd spend their life having dialysis or other daily hospital visits, which means they can't lead a normal life. And from the recipients I've spoken to, it literally is, it's life or death when you're waiting for a transplant.
Can I ask, since setting up the organization, have you found that people are more willing to learn more about organ donation?
Yes, we're getting lots more questions, and with the Facebook page Organ Donation Isle of Man, people are finding it an easier conversation to have, because there was nothing out there before. So now, we've got everything. It's easier to talk about. We've got the page, you can contact us to ask questions, and it's more in the forefront of people's minds. Definitely that's what I've found. It's taken a lot of time, to get where we are. It was set up 8 years ago, but I find that people I know and people I don't know will talk to me and ask questions, which it wasn't before.
We do have organ donors here on the Isle of Man, and whenever there is a situation where somebody can potentially help someone else, there is always a specialist nurse from NHS Blood and Transplant who will come and support that family through that decision. So the opportunity for people, if they are medically fit and they fit the criteria to donate, is always given in a caring and respectful manner.
Being a nurse, how is it for you having to deal with families, help them through that process? Is it? I'm sure it's not an easy one for the families, but for you as well?
Obviously the family is the paramount person in our care, as well as the potential donor, and it's an honour. It's an honour and a privilege to spend time with people who are kind enough to think about helping others when they're in the midst of a very, very difficult situation. So, as I say, it's a privilege really to be in this position, and hopefully help make the situation that little bit easier when they're making a decision to donate organs.
What are some of the more common questions that either of you get when people are considering it?
I get asked a lot, can it happen on the Isle of Man? Can you donate your organs? And the answer is yes. And that's one of the most common questions that I get asked, because they think that over here you can't. But the specialist teams are flown in from the UK, Abby and her team, and later on the retrieval teams, and so the process on the island is no different to the UK, and the organs would be flown back across to the specialist hospitals in the UK.
What are some?
I think a common thing that people often ask me or say to me is, oh, I'm too old to be an organ donor, or you wouldn't want any of my organs, they wouldn't help anyone else. And I don't know whether people are aware, but the actual upper age limit for organ donation is 85, which, you know, might surprise a few people. Obviously, it would depend on that person's medical fitness at that time, how their organs are. And also, I think people perhaps would not understand that to actually receive a transplant, that doesn't happen here on the island. So if you are somebody who needs an organ transplant, you do have to go to a hospital in the UK to receive that transplant and have ongoing care there to make sure that you're still fit and healthy as you go on with your life.
It seems as though people are happy to donate organs, but they say not the eyes. Have you heard that? Or why?
Yes, I've heard that a huge amount of times. Yeah, I think it's because it's somebody's facial, the vision. It's an impact, isn't it? What people perhaps think about when they're looking at somebody's face. It's not something that we actually can do on the island here for logistical reasons, but I think the gift of sight cannot be underestimated, really, and if that's what people decide that they want to do, I think it's a fabulous gift for somebody.
So you mentioned that's not something that we can do on the island. What is it? What can people donate if they're on the island?
So we can donate all solid organs, so that would be heart, lung, liver, pancreas, both kidneys, and sometimes bespoke transplants such as the small bowel.
Right, now Daniel's Law, I know there's been lots of work to try and get it implemented here on the island. I think it's gone up to Royal Assent twice. Can you update us on it? What's going on?
It has gained Royal Assent. It gained that last year, so everything on the actual law side is in place, but there's different legislations that need to go through on the island, and lots of promotional work to educate both the staff, you know, at Nobles and also the Isle of Man public. So at the moment we don't have any date set for actually coming in, and that is why, you know, the likes of today, we're encouraging everyone to, you know, just talk about their organ donation choices, let their loved one know, and sign their organ donation register.
I think it's really important to note that whatever law we work with in any country, the people that our specialist nurses are talking to are the families, and they are obviously the people who know that person the best. So the key really, and like Di says, why we're here, is to encourage people today to have that conversation at home. What would they want if it happened to them? That is the key, because it is the families that we have the discussions with at end of life.
It is very sensitive. How do you begin that conversation at home?
Well, I suppose everybody's different, aren't they? I think the fact that we are in Organ Donation Week, I think that is a good starting point for people to say, well, you know, that they're aware that it's a week promoting and educating people on organ donation. Let's have a chat about how you would feel.
And how many lives can you potentially save by donating?
Oh, about 9, yeah. But it does depend on how suitable the organs are at the time of donation. So generally, people who are younger can donate more organs than those who are a little bit older. But every organ is special, and every organ is a gift.
Here on the island, would you like to see more people registered, or would you be able to tell me roughly around how many people are registered?
We'd just like to encourage people to make a decision within their family, and obviously if organ donation is something that they want to support, please opt into the organ donor register, and that can be done very easily by just Googling organ donation, and it will get you through to that website. And it takes less than 5 minutes, or 2 minutes actually, to make that decision.
I think my last question on Daniel's Law, would you like to see it come through soon?
Yes, I would. It's, I get goosebumps when I think about it. Daniel was such a caring and loving person who always wanted to help others, and this law is, it's a legacy for him, forever. And as his mum, just so very proud of him.
And just so I got it right, in terms of this law, it means that once it's implemented, everyone qualifies and people have to choose whether they want to opt out, right?
Yes, they do. Which again, they can go on and register on the organ donor register. But again, the most important thing is to let your loved one know what your choice is.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.